Goodbye, Meg. Royal members are pleased when Meghan Markle is barred from returning to the UK at Philip's funeral because they don't want the Sussexes' antics to play out. Some royal family members were quietly pleased that Meghan Markle did not attend Prince Philip's funeral because they did not want a circus or her creating a spectacle, sources close to the Sussexes have claimed. An updated version of the couple's biography claims that several members of the royal family were understood to have been quietly pleased that Meghan Markle did not go to the funeral at Windsor Castle. However, Meghan still found a way to make it about her because she released a statement to announce that she had sent a wreath to Philip's funeral. The claim has been leaked at The Independent. The source said the whole royal family was pleased the toxic liar didn't attend. She would not have been welcomed by the British public either, as in contrast to the joyous welcome she was given at her very expensive wedding, they now see her for the spiteful, calculating, manipulative narcissist that she is. The insider added, "Of course they were pleased that Meghan wasn't there. They must have been jumping up and down. I suspect that they didn't want Harry there either." Meghan has made her feelings about the royal family very clear, as has Harry. They since have decided to step away from royal duties and forge their own path. They've made numerous accusations and unnecessarily cut comments at the royal family's expense in order to raise their own profile and make themselves more interesting and more marketable. She always finds a way to make everything all about her. The rest is ridiculous. Of course, the bullying allegations were carefully timed. Would the couple's PR do anything differently? Their Oprah interview was just a chance to mudsling and raise up old grievances. They gave not a single thought to how their comments would affect the royals. It was their chance to be the center of attention, and they took it. They are an utterly appalling couple who I hope fade into obscurity very, very soon. Clearly, most of us were pleased that Meghan did not attend such an intimate gathering on the day of Philip's funeral. She would have taken a seat of a much more important family member who loves and respects and truly misses Philip. Meghan is an ungrateful, disrespectful, and narcissistic person who doesn't deserve a seat at the royal family gatherings any longer. The new revelations also claim that Harry's request for it to be laid at the cenotaph service in November of last year was allegedly denied because he was no longer a frontline royal. Said that Harry, more than anyone, would know that a wreath, when laid at the cenotaph, is not laid in an individual's name, but named in memory of the fighting forces, the military, the Air Force, the Navy, etc. All forces would have been covered in the dedicated wreaths. Harry's would have been surplus to requirements, so that was why it was left in the box. The only person who lays a wreath in their personal name is Her Majesty the Queen. And a close source also said that he could have had the wreath laid at any other memorial site and it wouldn't have been an issue. I reckon they asked for the cenotaph knowing full well it would be refused, just so they could claim victimhood. Just like Meghan asking the HR department for her employed staff for mental health support, in full knowledge they couldn't provide any for her, so she had something to complain to Oprah about. They have never taken accountability and full ownership of anything they've ever done wrong, even when they were caught out talking multiple fights immediately after lecturing the rest of us about unnecessary air travel. Harry went on TV claiming they were special, so they had nothing to apologize for. They've never once recognized even the tiniest misstep, never mind accepted fault or apologized for anything that they did that might have contributed to them leaving, yet they demand that everyone that dared to hold them to account must be punished and destroyed. I remember reading years and years ago when Harry was on the verge of being an addict in his early 20s, Prince Charles himself took Harry to a rehab facility to see for himself and to talk to the people who had been through what we're going through, who were receiving treatment for addiction. He took him there to see the horrors of what an addict can become. I thought to myself, what an amazing thing to do. What a truly lovely, caring father Charles is to do something like that. Completely unheard of in those circles, but he did it because he loves his son. Harry has become Judas. His children's the one who will suffer in the long run. $20 million or whatever he is actually paid is not much money for the lifestyle that Meg wants. It won't last long. It will not be worth it. So sorry for her poor father. He's a broken man. He has had nothing to do with them since she got married. How nasty and despicable is she to treat her own father like that? I'm surprised at the Queen actually for having anything to do with her. When he's gone, she'll make up dreadful lies about him to try and justify her appalling behavior. It is typical of some celebs to tell all to remind us of their achievements and positive contribution to our lives. I find these two and their mouthpieces to have caused such negative and destructive impacts on people here. During our long time of sickness and suffering and many, many personal losses on top of that of our respected and elderly Queen. It is obvious that the term celebrity is more than tinged with greed, selfishness, disrespect, and outright lies and innuendo and scurrilous misrepresentation. Awful and shameful coming from such wealth and comfort. The rest of the world of celebrity is similarly tinged by association with such horrors, surely. Moreover, can't someone put a gagging order on Scobie and their cronies? Every time he appears on TV, he's labeled royal commentator or reporter to give the impression that he's impartial and independent, when everyone knows full well that he's exclusively a PR mouthpiece for and therefore the last person who would know what is happening behind closed doors in the royal family. It not only shows the contempt they have for the public by thinking they're too stupid to see through it, it also proves that they are so actively and unrepentantly dishonest that they need to create a false narrative to hide their motivations and intentions. I know Omid is desperately trying to flog his updated book, and he is doing the Sussexes no favors by rehashing all of this. It just reminds everyone how disrespectful and selfish Harry and his wife are. Why Harry and Meghan are not suing him? He seems to know their every thought, feeling, and future plan. She cut off her father for saying a lot less. If Meghan Markle went to Prince Philip's funeral, she would have stood there smiling and waving like she does at everything she goes to. Look at the pictures of her at certain events, and everyone is somber, and she is smiling like a freaking loon. Never has a clue what's going on, and then she has that swagger when she walks, like she's walking the runway. Low class, anything to be the center of attention. That is probably why we don't see their children. She wants to be the center of attention, not them. Harry is really an idiot. They speak of her with way too much importance. Markle is pretty much a stranger to the royal family. Harry's family barely knows Markle, let's be honest. Most met her a handful of times during the 2 years she was around. They never met her family except for her mother, who came down for 3 days for a wedding. She doesn't have the same friends. The Queen met Archie once, and the rest haven't even seen him. The truth is, Markle doesn't know them. Most of what she knows is what Harry told her, and they don't really know her. Why would she be at Philip's funeral, as it was only for close friends and family, someone he knew for decades and spent lots of time with? The ceremony was restricted in numbers because of COVID. Markle wasn't wanted or needed, as she barely knew the deceased.